What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Keane, and we're returning to Perfect Symmetry 2008. And the next track is Again and Again. I just did a reaction to a beloved tune called Time After Time, and of course there's a Cindy song by that same name. Nevertheless, it feels like the theme here, or at least on the surface, is quite similar. The time, or the theme of recurrence, of something being periodic, maybe even cyclical, and coming back again and again, and perhaps again and again on top of that, like Luca going back to her chair. So yeah, obviously whether that is a good or a bad thing, or maybe a mixture of both, somewhere in between, depends on the larger circumstances, and we don't get that in the title. It is just again and again. But at the very least, it suggests there are some forces, some gravity, or some interaction that by the very nature of it brings behaviors, attitudes, interactions around, and they continue to happen in that way, even, as in the case of the beloved tune, if some of the factors in the dynamic would seemingly push them apart or prevent them from coming back, but there are other forces that work against that and make it cyclical, or at least periodic. So yeah, that's on the surface what I would expect here, something that is recurring and perhaps unavoidably so. Obviously, I'll try to catch what I can. Luca will as well. This is Keane. The track is Again and Again, and it's from their 2008 album, Perfect Symmetry.
Was it all in real time, or was it just in my mind, or was I just a ghost passing through you, clinging to the wreckage till I got the message, hanging at the edge of the room. Give me something to dream. Give me half of your bitterest pain. Something from under the surface you actually feel. We say these words again and again, but this is sound the same. It was in your eyes, they were just easy lies. The light is turned to heavy, and promises are easy, and no one's ever happy or sad for very long. Well, just because I said it, it doesn't mean I meant it. I guess that was the way all along. I'm just shaping the sound, I'm just turning the syllables round, dipping my toe in the water and watching you drown. Say these words again and again, but this is sound the same. It was in
little sonar pulse to start the next track. So, yeah, I feel like it is essentially what I was thinking, though maybe with a notable twist relative to the Beloved track. It sounds like he's saying this is actually a genuine breaking point. And some of the lines bear that out. The idea of, was it all just a dream? Like, was I just a ghost passing right through you? But yeah, he seems to suggest that it's been a long time in the making. So the processes that have led to this moment, which again is maybe actually going to shift from what has happened before, as opposed to, again, the Beloved song or like the Thompson Twins' Hold Me Now, where the first part of the song it sounds like, oh, like they had a rough breakup and they went their separate ways, and then the more you listen it's like, oh wait, no, these are all just part of the games that we play. So like on a macro level they have these cycles, but it's a straight line. They're actually still together, and they'll probably fight more, and then they'll be together again, and so on. Here it does sound like he's saying there's a significant breaking point. But it's interesting because he's seemingly looking at it from both sides and, saying about himself, like, I guess I didn't mean those things when I said them. So it's like he clearly was in a certain frame of mind, but now with again and again and again as evidence of what has led them to this point, he's thinking like, well, maybe this was always going to be what happened. Maybe this, was inevitable. And what was it, you always say the same, but it sounded like at first he was saying like, you say the same or something to that effect, but like the implication being like this time he's recognized that it's actually different, like it's not just going to go back around again. So I don't know if I'm reading that right. Maybe it is like those other songs. Maybe like this is a moment in time, but if you went a little bit longer, they'd come around and they'd still be going through these issues. I'm not sure. But it does sound like, in this case, maybe it's different, and maybe, it's again and again and again and again until now. Nevertheless, yeah, it sounds like a long, complicated connection in which feelings may have been genuine, but now they're cast into a different light, and he's even reevaluating his own statements. And we don't hear the other side directly, but again, it feels like he's being fair to the other side, or indeed the other person, because he's not like blaming it all on them, and he's assessing his own behavior as much as theirs. It's like he's looking more at the dynamic between them rather than either one of them specifically, much less like pointing a finger and blaming. So yeah, it's a very interesting tune. I do like those flowing, like down up sort of extensions he does, which, one of them was the like a ghost moving right through you, which like that had a very like visual quality to the way he delivered the line. Like it made the line hit more directly or more conceptually because of the way he sung it. And obviously there was that extension in the latter part of the song where it was really long, did a little bit of a flourish, kept going a little bit more, and then came right back with another line, which I very much enjoyed. So as always, Chaplin's vocal is excellent. I enjoyed some of the keyboard work there. There was like one line in particular that in the latter half of the tune, it kind of stripped down a little bit, and there was a very front and center melodic run from that keyboard line. I definitely enjoyed that. So it's another well-crafted, well-composed, and well-sung pop song, which feels like that's their bread and butter. They just make really sonorous and compelling tunes, and with Chaplin's voice, not only does my brain, delight at what he can do melodically, but I find him easy to understand. Like, I don't catch all the words, partly because I'm thinking about the lyrics and listening to the sonics, as I do with all the reactions. But again, there's been some deep dives. I think of Simple Minds, Japan, there's some tunes with Steve Kerr and David Sylvian singing where I'm like, I don't even know what that... It was a collection of syllables, yes, but I have no idea what words those were. That doesn't happen with Chaplin. So it's like, even if I'm not catching every single word of every single line, I can clearly understand him to the point where at least I have some idea of what's happening lyrically. But yes, another great tune from Keane. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.